5 rounds, 10 cars, and 2 massive personalities. Can you actually crown a champion in the world's wildest celebrity garage battle? Reporters tried, fans debated, and both fighters kept raising the stakes with each new purchase. 2024 flipped the rules again. Ready for a face-off that's more than just engines and egos? Today we'll break down every move. Let's see who wins this garage war. Round 1. Phantom versus Phantom. 2 heavyweight egos, 2 giant Rolls-Royces, 1 simple question. When a YouTuber and an Olympic gold medalist choose the same limo, the story stops being about cars and starts being about power. On Jake Paul's side, you have a modern Rolls-Royce Phantom, part of the multi-million-dollar fleet sitting in the 6-car garage of his Taj Mahal mansion in Puerto Rico. Estimates put his Phantom around the $440,000 mark with a V12, 155-mile-per-hour top speed, and that silent, floating ride Rolls sells to kings, CEOs, and people who fight Mike Tyson on Netflix. Anthony Joshua's Phantom story feels even more on the nose. After becoming heavyweight champion, he celebrated with a white Rolls-Royce Phantom stretch limo worth around 600,000 pounds, a car long enough that a 6'6" boxer can stretch out in the back and still have space for a whole entourage. Several outlets call it the most expensive car in his collection. How do the Phantoms reflect each man? Jake treats him like a moving prop in a lifestyle movie. It lives alongside Ferraris, a Lamborghini, Huracan Performante, and monster trucks, part of the "look at what boxing and views built" narrative. Shots of the Phantom parked next to a cyberpunk pickup or monster Jeep turn it into another flex in a line of flexes. Joshua's Phantom feels more like a reward at the end of a classic sports arc. Council estate beginnings, Olympic gold in 2012, unified heavyweight titles, then finally a 600 grand Rolls to mark the moment. British tabloids love that image, the humble guy from Watford stepping out of the longest Phantom on the street. Pros for both. The car solves the same problem. Deep privacy, huge rear space, air-suspended comfort, and a message that nobody in this vehicle needs to touch a steering wheel unless they feel like it. The downside is image risk. A Phantom says final boss even when public opinion turns. If you lose fights or pull weak performances, the internet has a field day with photos of you diving into 500,000 pounds of leather and chrome. Verdict for this round? Joshua edges it in the story. Same Rolls badge, but his Phantom is tied to titles and legacy, while Jake's feels like another chapter in a constantly moving flex reel. The fight shifts when the garages roll out their big SUVs. Round 2. Maybach GLS versus Range Rover SV Autobiography. Some status symbols glide in under the radar. Others park outside the gym with a giant red bow and trend on TikTok. After the Mike Tyson fight, Jake Paul takes part of an estimated $40 million payday and does something very on-brand. He buys his first private jet and a matching Mercedes Maybach GLS 600 SUV, both painted the same gray, both unveiled with champagne and dancing for his nearly 30 million followers. The Maybach GLS starts around $180,000. Under the bonnet sits a 4.0-liter bit-turbo V8 with a mild hybrid system, about 550 horsepower, 538 pound-foot of torque, and a 0 to 60 time in the high 4-second range. Inside, you get airline-style recliners, massive screens, and enough quilted leather to upholster a small theater. In the other corner, Anthony Joshua's Range Rover story plays out very differently. Land Rover's Special Vehicle Operations built him a one-off Range Rover SV Autobiography Dynamic, hand-finished at the SVO Technical Center near Coventry. It debuted outside Finchley Boxing Club, the tiny London gym where his career began, and the plan was simple. This car would ferry him to world title fights. His bespoke Rover carries a 5.0-liter supercharged V8 with around 565 PS and 700 newts, good for roughly 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in the mid 5-second range. It wears a unique world champion graphite paint, custom B-pillar badges, and interior details embroidered with his initials and title belts. The price sits comfortably in the $200,000 region. So what are we really comparing? Jake's Maybach is an extension of the Jet. It completes the global superstar image. Plane on the runway, Maybach underneath, boxer dancing in front of both. The SUV is less about off-road ability, more about red carpet arrivals in places where a low Ferrari makes no sense. Joshua's SV autobiography acts like a narrative anchor. Land Rover ties his name to their flagship. He ties their badge to his journey from local club to stadium nights. The car becomes part of the brand partnership that helps pay for training camps, not just a toy bought after one big purse. Drawbacks? Both are huge, thirsty, and expensive to maintain. In city centers, they feel like luxury tanks weaving through smaller traffic. Range Rovers carry a long reputation for reliability drama. Maybachs scream wealth in a way that can clash with man of the people talk. Round result? Stylistically, Jake wins the social media moment, but Joshua wins on emotional storytelling. The next round drops vanity a little and dives into raw power. Round 3. Ferrari SF90 versus Mercedes V8 Biturbo. One garage chases 1,000 horsepower bragging rights. The other leans into quiet menace with German V8s that move like anvils. On Jake's side, the Ferrari SF90 Spider sits close to the top of his collection. Reports put the price at around $600,000 with a twin-turbo V8, 3 electric motors, and system output north of 1,000 horsepower. Top speed sits around 210 miles per hour. 0 to 60 happens in under 3 seconds. Add in his Ferrari 296 GTB, also hybrid in around 819 horsepower, and his driveway looks like a Maranello showroom. When he posted customizing my new Ferrari SF90 Spider and casually mentioned adding a 296 for the fun of it, fans understood the message. This is disposable supercar money. Fuel for views as much as for speed. Anthony Joshua plays the performance game differently. He owns a Mercedes V8 Biturbo that reports price at over $200,000 with 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds and a claimed top speed near 189 miles per hour. The exact model varies by source, but it clearly sits in AMG territory. Big 4-door sedan or coupe, twin-turbo V8, and serious Autobahn credentials. Park that next to his Jaguar XJR, another 5.0-liter supercharged V8 with around 550 horsepower, 0 to 60 in roughly 4.4 seconds, and a 174 mile per hour top speed, and you get a pattern. Joshua likes fast luxury with room in the back and an image that can handle both sponsors and family. So whose approach hits harder? Jake's Ferraris feel like headline weapons. They suit his persona. Loud in color, louder in performance, designed for hyper-edited YouTube content. A 1,000 horsepower supercar backing into the Taj Mahal garage lines up perfectly with his problem child with a bank account identity. Joshua's German and British V8s feel like boardroom tools that happen to be missiles. He can leave a training camp, glide to a sponsored dinner, and still know that a tap of the throttle will beat most cars on the ring road. Upsides. Jake wins on sheer numbers and rarity. Very few people own both an SF90 and 296 GTB. Joshua wins on usability. His performance cars still look professional when he pulls up to a charity event or broadcast studio. Downsides. Hypercars bring nerves. A limited-run Ferrari attracts cameras, police attention, and constant fear of curbing a wheel. High-power Mercedes and Jaguars fade into traffic more easily, but lose some of that once-in-a-lifetime aura. Round result. In pure speed terms, Jake's corner lands the cleaner punch. In real-world usability, Joshua's side looks like the seasoned pro. The clash shifts from speed to personality when their loudest street toys roll in. Round 4. Huracan Performante versus Jaguar XJR. Sometimes the loudest car in the room wins before the engine starts. Sometimes the one that looks like a business suit lands the knockout quietly. Jake Paul's Lamborghini Huracan Performante fits the first description perfectly. His dream Lambo finally landed in his garage in a bold blue finish, with its 5.2-liter V10 pushing about 631 horsepower, 0 to 60 in roughly 2.9 seconds, and a top speed near 200 miles per hour. It is track-focused, loud, and covered in aero pieces that scream speed even when it idles. He chose the same model as his friend NFL star Jordan Poyer, which turns the car into a friendship symbol as much as a toy. Matching Performantes equal matching flex levels. Every joint appearance amplifies both brands. Anthony Joshua's Jaguar XJR fights with a different kind of energy. On paper, it delivers 550 horsepower from a 5.0-liter supercharged V8, 0 to 60 in about 4.4 seconds, in serious top-end pace. On the street, it looks like a long, clean British sedan that would not look out of place outside a bank headquarters. Joshua has called the XJR his dream car and posed with it on social media. Price estimates hover around £90,000 when new, which places it as a serious luxury machine, but still less outrageous than a six-figure Italian supercar. Pros for Jake's Lambo: it dominates social media frames, scissor-style drama in some variants, loud exhaust notes, sharp lines, and all the stereotypes that come with Lamborghini in Miami. It fits a guy who built fame on spectacle and shock value. Cons: daily life with a Huracan means scraping driveways, dodging speed bumps, and constant anxiety about parking. In tight Puerto Rican streets or hotel ramps, ground clearance becomes a real enemy. Pros for Joshua's XJR: you can wear a suit, throw a gym bag in the back, and arrive at Sky Sports or a charity gala without looking like you left a music video shoot. The car rides well, has a usable boot, and still drops jaws when you bury the throttle. Cons: fewer people recognize an XJR from a distance. Its impact lives more in the experience than the Instagram shot. Round verdict: for pure car fight drama, the Huracan wins visually and numerically. For long-term ownership, the XJR feels like the better partner, which mirrors their careers. Jake thrives on noise, Joshua leans into slower, heavier moves that still hurt when they land. The final round zooms out to their daily workhorses and wildcards. Round 5, Wildcards: Cybertruck and TRX versus Audi A3 and everyday AJ. The last round drops the tuxedo and steps into real life. Forget red carpets, this is school runs, gym drives, and chaos on dirt roads. Jake Paul's wildcard side of the garage has 2 stars, the Ram 1500 TRX and the Tesla Cybertruck. His TRX started as a 702 horsepower, 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8 monster, then reportedly received a Whipple supercharger upgrade package that can push power close to 4 figures. It hits 0 to 60 in the mid-4-second range and looks like an off-road tank. The Cybertruck functions as his rolling meme. Stainless-looking body, sharp angles, and the full tech bro energy that fits a guy who wants to project future villain with Wi-Fi. After the Tyson fight, he showed it off alongside the Maybach and Jet, turning it into part of the I Run My Own Universe storyline. Anthony Joshua's wildcards feel calmer. One of the most interesting choices is his Audi A3 S-Line, a relatively modest premium hatch or small sedan by celebrity standards. Reports describe it with a 2.0-liter turbo engine, quattro all-wheel drive, and S-tronic automatic gearbox, which makes it quick enough for London traffic but nowhere near supercar territory. He is also tied to a Range Rover Sport Dynamic as another daily capable SUV loaded with panoramic roof, heated seats, massage functions, and 4-zone climate control. It slots under his bespoke SV autobiography while still feeling expensive and comfortable. So, what do these choices say? Jake's TRX and Cybertruck are chaos machines. They sell adventure, power, and internet culture. The TRX fits desert shoots, prank videos, and emergency response cosplay. The Cybertruck fits futuristic skits and high-profile arrivals where the shape of the vehicle carries more attention than the badge. Joshua's Audi and additional Range Rover feel like tools for an athlete who still lives in relatively normal spaces. The A3 S-Line can slip through London streets, park in tight spots, and avoid the security headache that comes with parking a Phantom outside a local shop. The Range Rover Sport bridges comfort and image when the bespoke SV Autobiography feels too loud. Strengths: Jake dominates this round on spectacle again. A near 1,000 horsepower truck and a viral EV create content by simply existing. Joshua controls the relatable champion lane. Fans can see themselves in an Audi far more easily than in a supercar. Weaknesses: Jake's choices burn fuel, attract attention, and require serious storage and security. Joshua's wildcards lack the wow factor for car nerds, but they age better in a world where public opinion cares more about practicality and responsibility. Final score: Jake Paul 3, Anthony Joshua 2. Jake Paul wins the car fight. Legends are built in the ring, but stories are told in their garages. If you think you've seen it all, the next reveal might change your mind. Click the next video now.